This is a quick performance installation video for K10208. That is a Street Rod alt power steering bracket for a 98-02 Camaro or GTO. We're going to start off with some pre-assembly of the main bracket. We're going to take our 100 millimeter, 10 millimeter bolts, insert them here and here. Then we'll flip it over like so. We'll have our 3/8 tube here, and then we'll take our two longest tubes here, and this is good enough to get it mounted on the engine. We're going to install the lower portion of the bracket here, and then on the cylinder head here and here. At this time, we're just going to leave them finger tight until we get the rest of the bracket installed, and then we'll go through a torque process. We'll run these down a little bit more, but we do want to leave it loose. We're going to install the back plate, and we're going to go into these two holes in the cylinder head. So we'll load up the 2-inch tube and then match up the 2 ears with the 2 ears. So we'll just drop that plate in there like so. And then we have a short tube here to match the spacing that we have, and we'll just go into the cylinder head there. Repeat the process here. Get that out of the way for a second. Come through here. Swing that back up, come through, catch that, and then once again into the cylinder head. Once again, we're going to leave these finger tight. We're going to mount the alternator right here. Once we're done with that, we'll go through a torque sequence. We're going to use our 80 millimeter bolts in order to mount the alternator. I always start here at the outside, get it through there, and then let it swing down and catch it here. Now, you'll notice that we have a dual bolt pattern. That's so that you can use either the Camaro or truck bolt pattern, or the Corvette actually has a wider bolt pattern. Let you use whichever one that you want to. All right, we've got this installed now. Let's go through a torque sequence. These are 10 millimeter bolts, so we're going to do a torque spec of 37 foot-pounds, and we're just going to go ahead and get them all right now. Then up here, we'll grab our 15 millimeter, grab the nut on the back side. Now we're ready to install an idler. We're going to install the idler next. We have two idlers in the kit, a smooth and a grooved. The groove would go up here, and that's the one that we use if you're using AC and also wanting to use the remote power steering pump reservoir here in front. If you're not using AC, unfortunately, you're going to have to put this here and find a different place to put your reservoir. But we bring in our 12 millimeter bolt from behind, load up the idler mount, put our idler on, and then this is a 12 millimeter bolt. We would torque it to 50 foot-pounds. The reason why we bring the bolt in from behind is this is a flange nut here, and it's going to give a nice seat to this bearing here. That way we don't damage it. We're going to install the power steering pump with 3 8 millimeter bolts, just like this. I like to catch the center one first. Just get it on there, kind of holds it in place for the other ones. Repeat the process here and here. Now these are 8 millimeter bolts, so we're going to torque those down to 15 foot-pounds. Get this pump nice and squared. And we are now, for this iteration, ready to install the belt. Now we've chosen the correct belt based on which alternator we have. There's a large case and a small case, so do be aware of that. We call both of those out in the installation instructions. We'll get these set down in all the grooves here, and then grab our 15 millimeter break over for the LS tensioner. We do like a bit of a tight belt, not over tight where it's going to hurt the bearings. You should be able to get it on yourself, but these belts do take a set after a while. They effectively go down deeper into the grooves. Also, a belt will stretch a little bit over time. So we want a belt that's a little bit tight. And even though we do a great job of calling out in the installation instructions what belt you need, let's take a look at these tensioner marks and make sure it's where it's supposed to be. You'll notice an indicator here on the arm of the tensioner and then 3 marks here. We'd like to see this indicated between these 2 marks here. That will show a good one. We don't really want any tighter than what we have here. And if it's over here, we really should be looking at a shorter belt. So if you are doing the installation with the AC bracket, you'll bring your 12mm bolt in from behind here, load up your idler, and use the grooved pulley here. 12mm nut. Once again, we'll tighten that down. Do you want to do it this way so that we have a good seat here with the flange nut? 12mm bolt, 50 foot-pounds. To mount up our reservoir bracket, has 2 mounting holes here that'll go here and here. We'll take the first one and just slide it in there. I like to get the nut in behind first so you can kind of start the threading process a little bit easier. It's a little bit difficult to get to, but it's definitely doable. And then we'll just grab our other bolt and nut and put it here and repeat the process. Tighten these down. There is still vibration on the engine, so we do recommend you take it down to 37 foot-pounds, but obviously a lot less critical than things that are holding the bracket to the cylinder head. And then our reservoir will just mount right here on the bracket, like so. We have a feed tube that will go from here down to the power steering pump right here. We're ready to install the belt. Now the belt will go across the top and then come down like so to the water pump. Something I'll mention here is Kwik Performance sells an 8-groove pulley. We're going to sit in the middle of those, this middle 6 grooves. If it has a 7-groove pulley you got from somewhere else, we're going to use the back 6 grooves there. We'll make sure that we're down in the grooves of all these different pulleys here. We'll actually slide this back off of the bell there to get this down here. It's a little bit difficult to do. There's a lot going on, but very doable. Helps if you have the right tool for the job. This takes a 1/2 inch. As you can see, not too bad. Make sure you're down in all the grooves here, and let her loose. We do a great job of calling out a belt length. You know, different belt lengths if you have a high output alternator or the standard output or a Power Master like we sell. But what's going to be most important is these tensioner marks right here. Let's take a look at that. A little difficult to see, but here on the tensioner arm, you'll see an indicator with 3 other marks here. We're going to want to be a little bit on the tight side of that. So as the belt stretches over time and also sits down deeper into the grooves, effectively making it longer, you'll still be in your operating range. Thank you for watching this Kwik Performance installation video. If you have any questions, give us a call or shoot us an email. We do want to help. And if you have any pictures of your install, we'd like to see those as well. Thanks.